Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today I just want to reminisce, take you on a trip down memory lane. Remember when the pandemics first started and everyone was drinking 𝙇𝙤𝙈 coffee? I think that's the name of them. It's the instant whipped coffee and then like whatever else. I'm reminiscing on the good old days when everyone thought the pandemic was only going to last like a month. So I'm drinking a 𝙇𝙤𝙈 coffee and I am really living my best life right now. It is a Monday. I took today off of work. It's great. I'm living my best life. But that is not why you're here. You are here because you clicked on the title. This is my Fantasy Self palette finale. I've decided to kind of wrap this up a little bit ahead of the normal scheduled time. I'm going to set my coffee down real quick. Just because Hailey has been taking a nice hiatus over here on YouTube and Instagram. Just if you haven't, just go tell her hi, give her a hello, tell her you're thinking of her. She could use all of the kind words right now. That is all I'm going to really say. But I just kind of decided I'm not really focusing on these eyeshadows that are in my Fantasy Self palette, if I'm being quite honest. And I don't want to hassle myself and like put the pressure on myself to have this out if I'm not even going to focus on it. So I'm going to just call it quits now. We're almost a year in, but not quite. I did a lot of really good work in this palette, if I'm being honest. But we didn't do as much as we wanted to. And when I say we, I mean me current, me future, and past me. We're all up in my brain at the same time. So I haven't been focusing on these eyeshadows. I did actually hit a couple goals this past quarter, but I found myself not reaching for certain shades and only reaching for other shades, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna call it. I'm gonna call it right now. If that means I lose the challenge, that's fine. Hailey is the winner. Not that it was really a win or lose kind of thing. It's all in just good fun and to use our collections. But I am missing an eyeshadow out of this. So let me, I have all of my palettes. I'm planning on filming a palette collection video. So I have all of my eyeshadow palettes on my desk and it is very chaotic on my desk right now. So let me just put the shadow that's missing out of here. I have to pull it and then we will talk real quick. I now have all of my eyeshadows tucked into my Fantasy Self palette. I'm gonna just scooch and then there will be like numbers and everything floating over here as I normally do. But I just want to show you what the palette, well, I guess we'll just take a walk down memory lane yet again. I'll show you what the palette looked like initially when we rolled it in. Then we're gonna look at it at the first update. Then the second update. And now we're gonna look at what my palette looks like now. So we have made a little bit of progress in this palette, but not a ton, if I'm being honest. I definitely had higher hopes for myself, and that's fine. I find myself now that I kind of rotated in shades that I like out of like my Fantasy Self shades, I'm really only reaching for the shadows that I like in the palette. So I guess maybe that's kind of a lesson learned. Maybe just always put shades that like intimidate you. Or I feel like I would have also done better if this was a little bit more condensed. 15 eyeshadows is a little bit much. Maybe if I did like a 9 pan or like something like a 12 pan, having a little bit less shadows might have been a little bit more successful for me. But I am panning. I'm doing a pan that palette this year. I was doing pan those eyeshadows and then that segued into my rotating palettes. So this has just kind of been the project that's fallen on the back burner for me. So I would love to revisit this at a future date. Maybe not doing pan that palette in conjunction with this. But as we're doing a lot of eyeshadow centered projects, I'm just finding myself with this project as the one that's kind of like falling by the wayside. So I'm gonna just go shade by shade and talk to you about the shades and what I've used. So I know every item in the top row is now shades that I have hand selected to put into this palette. So I have used all of those top ones the most. These have all been in my BYOPs that I've been doing. I did hit 2 pans this past month in Dahlia here. I know it's hard to see it from back there, but hopefully you can see there is a little bit. Maybe I should take it out and show you, like, so you can actually see. Come on, get it together, Lo. So there is a pan in this shadow. I absolutely love this eyeshadow also. This has been really, really helping me get more use out of my Subculture palette. So I am very much intrigued and still going to focus on this shadow. This is Dahlia by Dandelions Company, if I did not say that. Then next to it here, ooh, my camera's gonna die. Ooh, girl. Okay, sorry if things look a little shifted. I had to change my camera battery out, and then I needed to finish my tallies because I didn't have them on here. But I'm kind of embarrassed about the number of uses that I've put in these eyeshadows in the past 3 months. I would think that using these for 3 months, I would have ample use on them. And my tallies are gonna really show how little I reached for this palette. And even though I was doing my BYOPs, which has helped me use the shadows that I have in this, my uses is like, if I'm being quite honest, and excuse my language, but it is piss poor. It is piss poor. So I have all of these here. Flores is this guy here. It's by Clionadh Cosmetics. I hope you can see there is a very, very small dip in that shadow there. I use that one 5 times. Like, Dahlia that has pan in it, which is this beautiful shadow here, I use that one 6 times. Bitch Fit here 5 times. Twisted 3 times. I don't have that I used it, but I know that I had it in my BYOPs and I did reach for it. I just don't have the number. I've just been really slacking on my tallies in this palette in particular. I don't know how to pronounce this. Pinija. I used that once. Cape Cod, which is that guy, 5 times. I did not use Ignite, Smoky, or Smokin', or Boutique. So these 3 shadows I did not use at all. Then we go down to Matcha, which was 4 times. Infrared, which I used twice. Game Over, 3 times. Spiced Fig, 6 times. And Cosmos, which was a big 0 as well. So, just very, very pathetic, if I'm being honest. I had not been focusing on it, and it's really just as simple as that. I've been focusing on a lot of my other projects. I've been focusing on rotating my palettes more, and just not this one. So I wish I had better use to tell you, but that's it. I guess maybe if I do this in the future, I will pick shadows a little bit more strategically. I won't pick so many dark shadows right off the bat, but yeah, it's like a grungy Christmas palette. That's what I keep like dubbing the bottom rows. It's like holiday time, fall, but at the same time, I don't want to reach for these because I have Subculture that I'm panning on, which has those grungy dark tones that I want to use, not necessarily a BYOP where I can pick and choose the shadows that I'm using. Like especially the green. This shadow looks almost identical to one that's in Subculture. I mean, a black with sparkle is very difficult for me to reach for. Again, I really just want to focus on the top row, and that's not really what this project's about. This project is to challenge myself and not use the shadows that I've hand selected to finish or to hit pan in. It's about like challenging yourself to using the shadows that you are a little bit more intimidated by. In this project, I have developed a much more appreciation for some of these kind of shadows in here, and realized that while I may not use them on a day-to-day basis, I do actually use them, and I have ideas for shadow looks with them. I did actually pull this one out and did I did a IG reel that I never posted, but it was like a Pantone Color of the Year inspired, where it was like really, really yellow crease with like the gray like silver in all over the lid, and I really liked it, but it's not something I would wear all the time. Definitely something that I would wear as we get into the cooler months of the year. And as I've kind of established the past couple months, I've been really gravitating more towards kind of neutral looks, which is very not my norm. But I'm happy with what I've done in this project. I hit pan in quite a few eyeshadows. I don't know the number. I will have the number of like how many pans I've actually hit in this project up on the screen, counting the 2 that I've hit right now. But I did put some difficult shadows in here. Like there were some shadows, there's a lot of shadows in here that I didn't even touch before putting them in here. Boutique, Smokin', Ignite, no, I did use that one. Matcha I used maybe once. Panija, again, like maybe once, probably 0 times. I didn't use Fluoresce at all, or I had a very, very limited usage on Good God there. It's enlightening. It's enlightened me to realize that while I feel like I'm good at panning eyeshadows, I do have limitations. I need to get at least a little bit of usage on some of these products before I slap them in projects, especially on the shadows that intimidate me more. I would definitely be interested in doing this project again. However, I think that I would do it a much more condensed version, a 9-pan version of this, not a 15-pan. And I think that if I were to do it again, I would just only select fantasy self shades, so shades that are like slightly intimidating, or shadows that someone else has picked out for me, not necessarily the shadows that I'm picking out myself, because again, I am finding that I gravitate to use the shadows that I have hand selected more than the shadows that intimidate me. But that is it. That is my finale for my Fantasy Self Project pan. Let me know if you were interested in doing this project. I know that Becca over here on YouTube has been doing this kind of solo. Her husband has been picking shadows for her, which I almost want to do that with Josh. Maybe my husband would like to pick eyeshadows for me to pan. I know he has a very specific taste in what he likes me to wear versus what I do end up wearing from day to day. So it would be kind of interesting seeing what he would select for me. But that is it. That is everything for this video. I hope you guys aren't annoyed that I'm wrapping this project up a little bit earlier than I anticipated. Again, I'm just a little bit overwhelmed and a little burnt out on panning eyeshadows right now, especially with panning Subculture. That's like, I need to focus in on her. She's lingering, and we need to get her used up. But that is it. That is everything for this video. I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!